good, King Noble, man? It's Black Olay.
Black supremacy.
Hey, Black Supremacy, man. Yeah, man. You uploaded one of my videos recently. I just wanted to know what you thought about it. It was about Dr. Sebi. I've been getting a lot of backlash for that particular video.
Yeah, I knew when it went to my page, you was definitely gonna hit some criticism.
Right.
I shared a lot of the thoughts that you had about Dr. Sebi, and his ability to cure AIDS. I felt that there should be more testimonies of people who have actually been cured. I think with how that disease is being propagated amongst the masses of people, that it's too many people to be healed to have testimonies based on the AIDS scare and how it's being propagated.
Right.
You know, it's no way. I mean, it should be overwhelming evidence. Like his offices should be so flooded that he don't have time to lecture or do anything with how it's been propagated that people are so-called dying of AIDS.
Right, because I was thinking about it. I'm like, well, goddamn, he charging all this money, and he saying he's supposed to be healing all these people. It looked like it's more about money than anything.
I mean, that's clear to me. That's clear to me. Because, you know, a lot of people, you know, there's no such thing really as AIDS. To be totally clear with you. You know, people are not dying of AIDS. They're dying of susceptible, you know, diseases due to a weakened immune system, which is what most people die from anyway when they die, whether they just a senior citizen or whatever. Their immune systems become susceptible. So there's no AIDS that you can cure just to begin with. You can only cure the susceptible diseases or, you know, immune deficiencies, the byproduct of immune deficiency. You follow?
Okay.
So we know he's not curing AIDS. That's just not a reality.
You know,
can you strengthen somebody's immune system to some capacity? Absolutely. You know, if you're dealing with people's T cells, there's a lot of things that could change the viral load of somebody's T cells. But that doesn't mean you're curing AIDS, because AIDS does not exist. And does that mean to have you cured them to the point that they're no longer susceptible to any diseases? That means you damn near made them invincible. So I don't know how you would measure that.
Right. You
so
know,
it's not,
I mean,
it's not realistic if you ask. Go ahead.
Yeah, my last point with it all is that I just feel like it's two extremes. You know, he go from saying I can cure all diseases, then he say he never read a book. So it's just too many. It's just too many illogical extremes with it. It's kind of like fuck it. It's just like Polite. It's just like a few of these other guys out there. It's extreme. You can buy land for $20. I speak 12 languages, and like, wait a minute, man, this don't even sound right.
It's an excellent marketing strategy, and I give them credit for that. And they are businessmen in business, and that's what they're doing. I mean, I don't think they make any. I don't think they're hiding the fact that they're about business. I think the fact that we're looking for something more from them is a personal issue.
Right.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You know, I think they make it clear. It's about business. I'm about money. I mean, if you're driving a Bentley, you know, you're not getting something like just a regular Chevy or something that can get around, or a Volvo or something for its durability. You need a Bentley.
Right.
So you're showing that it's about money.
They got following them, yeah.
So, I mean, that's a fact. So I don't look for people that's about money for my healing. If you want to heal, you look to somebody that was sick, that healed themselves, and just want to share that with others. You follow?
Right.
I mean, that's the reality.
Man.
Somebody will tell you, I healed myself of this, and they'll tell you exactly what they did for free. And that's where you find healing at. But if you want to just to get in the business, you want to deal with somebody for business and status, because you got to realize, let me just keep it real with you. Dr. Sebi was Michael Jackson, one of Michael Jackson's health advisors, according to him, right?
Yeah.
Look what happened to him.
Yep.
You follow?
Yep.
And then if you look at the sister that went down there, I mean, she went down there with Dr. Sebi, and she was kind of got deluded and just wasn't paying attention to what was going on. And she died in that car accident. She wasn't really centered in reality very much. You follow?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
In some type of delusional reality. I'm just keeping it real, you know.
Hey, that's a good analysis right there, man. I mean, a lot of people ain't gonna like that, but you know, he got the followers who want the Benz and everything. So
that's a fact. You know, when you start believing to the point that you're no longer centered in reality, then a lot of careless mistakes can begin to happen right there. You follow?
Mm-hmm. Well, goddamn, I never thought about it like that. I made the video, but I never really even considered the Michael Jackson, the Left Eye, because, I mean, it's kind of like Puff Daddy, right? You know, people get involved with him, and they all end up dead. They all end up in jail. Same thing, you know, with, just like what you said right now. Like, you know, you got people making testimonies who don't quite have it together, and you know, some people will look at it as a conspiracy, though. You know they're going to look at it like that, too. Like, well, you know, they got cured of this, so the government came in.
You got to realize, a lot of people got money, and a lot of people with money are going to invest and investigate what he's doing, and there will be a hell of a lot more testimonies. There's nobody that's been told that they're going to die, that don't want to live, that's not going to go through every, avenue that they can in order to continue their life, right?
Right.
So it should be overflowing testimonies from Dr. Sebi, because Left Eye did give him the exposure, right?
Exactly.
I was an herbalist for a while, before I got to where I am. Like, I started off originally into metaphysics, and then I got heavy into the martial arts, and then into the natural healing. And just for the little healing that I was able to do, I didn't get a chance. I couldn't sleep. They was at my door all day long. Just off what I was able to do. And I could not go as far as say that I was curing AIDS or curing this or curing that. I was just trying to help people to the best of my capacity. You follow? And I could not. Right. My door would overflow, and I was just only taking donations. So I can only imagine somebody who talking about that they curing AIDS. They would not. I mean, it would be an overflow of people that it would be unimaginable. And not because AIDS is real, just because of the scare. That's not even something that you have to market. It's already marketed. As long as they keep pushing this AIDS scare, they doing all the marketing for anybody that want to deal with that. So you don't even have to sell yourself that hard.
That's only one disease name, too.
When you see somebody overselling an easy sell, then that's the question. You can walk up in any AIDS clinic, right? And they can come back with 1 million different test scores next week, and just off that little market, you can be like, look, I'm going to take these 20 people, and you 20 going to have a testimony, and you're going to make $1 billion alone off of that. You don't need to sell no more. That's a reality. Because they're going to refer. All your work going to be referral work. You'll be swamped.
Yeah.
Because that's how my natural healing ministry was growing. It was just simply growing off referrals. I didn't have to market anything. Just somebody, I helped their grandma with diabetes. She called her auntie. She called that. And then eventually, it was more people in my living room than they had a place to really sit. But what I learned about black people by doing that is why they are mystified off of black healing. They don't take black healers serious. If the white man don't co-sign it, then it ain't real to them. That's why I stopped doing it. Because it's like I would give them the herbs, and they was entertained by me presenting this to them. But if the white man didn't co-sign it, they was not going to really take it serious. Because I should have just been able to tell them, look, change your diet, and they do it. But I got to show them all this Gary Knowles and Dr. Oz, and I got to show them all this other stuff to kind of back up what I'm saying, because if they don't hear it from the white man, they don't want to hear what I'm trying to say. So I'm like, you know what? The problem is you only listen to the white man and not the black man. That's why we need a black supremacy movement. Because when you really start being willing to listen to the black man, then the black healing really begins right there.
Exactly.
That's the reality.
Hey, this last
now,
question.
Another thing, I want to look at the Sebi from another angle, just for devil's advocate.
Okay.
That is possible. Let's just entertain, because I like to look at both sides of the picture. It's easy for us to go at one angle. It's possible that if Dr. Sebi did not market himself the way he did, nobody would be interested in what he had to offer. That he would have to go to such great lengths, even if he had something viable to offer. Even if he could just make you feel better with what he had, that he would have to go to such great lengths, almost to circus act lengths, in order just simply to get black people's attention, in order to get to receive what he have to offer. You follow? Because Dr. Malachi York said it best: give them what they want, so they want what you have to offer. Black people are very childish, goddamn people. You know what I'm saying? Very kindergartenish, very Disney World-ish. You know what I'm saying? So if you don't appeal to that aspect of them, then you might not have their attention at all. That's why we the number one people in the entertainment industry, the number one consumers of entertainment. You follow? Because that's the kind we live in. When you look at the black man in America from somewhere else, they look at him as an entertainer. They like polite went all the way to Egypt. And all the Egyptian had to say for him is, you so funny, you African Americans are so funny and so entertainment, right? That says something about us, right? So if that means now our leaders got to appeal to this to even reach us. They have to come through this super extreme, you know what I'm saying? I mean, look at Dr. Umar Johnson. Marcus Garvey could just literally give you a blueprint for repatriation. And you know, set up this idea of us having international business, and black people are more open to that. But over the years, we've become more childlike. Now you got to become the prince of Pan-Africanism, right? And you got to become this super Umar Johnson, this superhero that goes into a phone booth and puts on this prince of Pan-African cape and an outfit in order to get black people to just invest in really building a school. Look what great lengths that we have to go through. So you got to look at it from both hands. In one instance, we say the preacher is getting over on people because he got the Lexus and the Benz and all that. But then on the other end, if you look like me and you live in the middle of the forest, because you don't have nothing, nobody's going to listen to you.
Exactly.
That means if you don't have the Benz and don't have the suit and you can't cure all diseases and you don't have the anointing and Christ didn't come down and lay his hands on you first before everybody else, nobody wants to listen to you. So you got to look at it from both angles. You follow what I mean? But I do know, at the essence of it, that if he can just simply heal people and prove that, he would not have to do as much work as he's doing. Because you can knock on somebody's door and heal somebody. But at the same time, if the white man didn't heal them, a lot of times people would not even believe that they were healed. Do you hear me?
Exactly.
Because 80% or 90% of a lot of illnesses is psychosomatic too. And the number one cause of sickness and disease is stress. And if you don't believe you're healed and believe you well, it's the stress about believing that you're not healed that's killing you. You feel me? That's a reality. So sometimes if a black man heal you, a lot of times people would not even fucking believe it. And white people are giving out a lot of placebos with some hell of a names on them. You feel me? But just because you believe in the infrastructure and the white supremacy and all that, you're like, well, I'm healed now. They're giving me my medication. And you're not really taking nothing but sugar pills, which is why you end up with diabetes no matter what you take. Because all those orange pills ain't really nothing but sugar pills. So you're just taking sugar all day under the auspices of these different types of medications addressing these different ailments. My mother was sick. That's when I got off into natural healing. My mother claimed to be sick. I went and saw her doctor. He was a Chinese doctor, but he was practicing Western medicine. You know, and I told him, I was like, man, you know better than this, man. You should be handing out some herbs or something. Why are you giving all these prescriptions to my mother? And I was really aggressive with him. And he said, because she believes she has all this sick. I've been trying to tell her it's really not this, that, and the other. She believes that she's sick, so I'm trying to address her sense of illness the best way I can by prescribing this Western medicine to her. But he basically was telling me that her issue was psychosomatic, and the herbs that he prescribed for me were all teas that were calming. Do you hear me? He said, well, okay, he flipped the script on me. He said, okay, I'll give you Chinese medicine too. Okay, I send you to a health food store, because I really got on his ass. I'm like, you trying to kill my mother or something? So he broke down and gave me some herbs, and every herb he gave me was dealing with calming the nerves. I said, damn. So a lot of times our people are killing themselves through their belief in white supremacy. Unless the white man is Jesus, if he don't lay hands on us and do something to us, slap the baby on the ass, something, you know, bend me over, do something to me. I know there's something wrong with me if I sat in a waiting room waiting on the white man to bless me. Something is wrong with me, right? That's our mentality. And Dr. Sebi is not responsible for that. You follow? And he's at war with that phenomenon. To even talk about you're going to be a black healer in America, the game is already set for you into some capacity. So we have to take that into consideration too.
Most definitely.
If somebody really if you walk in your community right now and said you got the cure for AIDS, how many black people are really going to believe you?
0.
I used to tell black people back in the day, you could live without paying rent and without paying this white man. It's a certain way you can live, and it's certain knowledge that you can have that's actually legal. And when I tell them that, they just don't believe it. You got to be breaking the law. You got to be some type of criminal. You just got to be, because you're not doing it the way that's propagated predominantly by white supremacy. Where the whitest of white men, they can tell him about it, and he say, well, yeah, you know what, that's all right what he's doing. That's good. If the whitest of white men don't know about it, who could be completely ignorant of the law, right, doesn't co-sign it, then what I'm doing is automatically illegal. So that's not only in the healing, that's every aspect, that's all around the board. If the white men do not co-sign it, it has no value in our reality. That's the reality. That's why black businesses do not do well, because you need to buy it from Walgreens and the major department stores to feel like you having a divine experience of consumerism. Right?
Exactly.
And if I sell you the same product, no matter what it is, it's always going to be too much, because what you're really paying is for the validation of white supremacy through everything that you purchase. That's why black businesses is never going too far, because the idea of business is buying into the capitalistic utopia of white supremacy. The highest idea of service is rendered through white supremacy, right? The most money you get, you eventually going to start buying the European stuff, because that is the valuable stuff, right? So where are you going? If you believe in a value and you believe in a money, you have to be moving further towards white supremacy, because that sets the value. You want your shit Italian, you want your shit from Italy, you want your shit from France, you want your shit from Paris. The more money you get, you would have to be moving in that direction if you believed in the value of capitalism and consumerism. You follow? You gonna make $1 million to go to buy your shit from mom and pops? Really? So capitalism is going to lead you towards white supremacy. You're not just buying a product, you're buying into the matrix reality of value. You're getting on the Disney World ride with all of your money. You follow? You get off from work, now you can pay to get on whatever the rides are. You want a real ride. You don't want a mom and pops selling you shea butter at a festival. Right?
Right.
You actually want to believe in social equality and believe in empowerment through economics. So unless some white man is serving you, so we're buying equality and humanitarianism, because now you're going to treat me in a certain way because of the amount of money I have. Isn't that what black people are buying into? I'm not getting all this money to buy from no nigga. I'm getting this money to now finally have my master serve me. Right? Now I can walk up into the BMW shop and the Bentley shop and walk up in them, and the white man gonna serve me now. He's not really serving you. You doing more service to him than he is to you. You serving by serving your own. And to be of service of your own is a totally non-capitalistic idea. To be of service to your own people. Because business ain't about serving no more. It's about getting served at the end of the day. That's the reality. It's not about how much service you can get. It's about how much money you can get to get how much service you can gain with the money that you got. So I just say all that to say that I understand. I'm not attacking Dr. Sebi. I understand the full dynamic of what he's up against. But I know there's some real people out there that really, really want to be healed, that's not buying into all that. But I don't think he would blow up off those people. You follow? He wouldn't become a world popular master healer off 10 people that was really, really serious, that could actually fathom being healed in some type of natural way. Because most people say that, but they do all that stuff and they run right to the guy back to the hospital. That's bullshit. You know what I'm saying? They do the health stuff and they do the old Africa care, but eventually they run to Obamacare. Let's keep it real. They lying. And they be quick, Alexis K. Tyler, they be quick to say that you killed me. All the processed foods and shit that they ate didn't do anything to them, but it's some herb you gave them. But just because they never heard of it, it's got to be poison, and you the one killed me. Do you hear me? That's the reality. You get him one damn herb, and you killed me. If they rule, if the white man didn't heal them, then they died of natural illnesses. But if the black healer don't heal them, then you killed me. Slowly. You follow what I'm saying? You gave me something that fucked me up. That's the reality. Let's be honest about this. So I'm telling you, I was in the natural healing myself. That's how I've come to these conclusions. I said, until we wake our people up to who they are, we really cannot heal them. Everything we do is temporary because they need such a holistic healing on an identity level, on a psychosocial level. So much they have to change so radically that is nothing that no herb or pill or elixir or drink is going to do. If you are on a identification suicide, you follow? With the way you identify yourself in reality is suicidal. It's anti-self. You know, the bleaching creams, the perms, you got to kill your black identity in order to exist into a white world, and then you're going to come to a black healer, and your whole life is centered in black identity suicide. You feel me? I mean, that's the ultimate contradiction that you could possibly imagine. So I can't give you no pill, and you're going to KFC tomorrow, you're going to Popeyes, you're lying somebody and change my diet, you're a vegan one day, and many of us that are vegans, we nothing but soyitarians. You feel me? We working on ourselves. You feel me? So it's a lot of work that we have to do to even begin to start talking about black healing. It's deeper than that. A radical lifestyle has to change. And for lifestyle have to change, economics have to change. I can't tell you to change your diet, and on your lunch break you got 30 minutes and everything in walking distance is KFC, Popeyes, McDonald's, and Burger King. How can I help you? But I got to change your entire economic situation. And in order to change your economic situation, I got to change how you view and perceive money. You follow?
Right.
That's a lot of work that has to be done. And I think as black supremacists, we are starting to take up that real work. What we call natural healing is just a Band-Aid for somebody who's not going to change their entire lifestyle. Anything I can give you would just only be a Band-Aid. If you're going right back to KFC, Burger King, Thanksgiving, family didn't cook, you right back at me talking about I need to detox. You right back into the disease. Your life is disease. If you're trying to be something you're not, and live in a paradigm that is other than yourself, the very way that you live is disease. So I can't, in that sense, I can't blame Dr. Sebi. The problem is so much bigger. Are there those exploiting and capitalizing off the problem? Absolutely. No question about that. Because those herbs, are damn near free. You can get these herbs without paying $100,000 for it.
Mm-hmm.
But if you gotta pay $100,000 for it to be of value to you, I'd rather you give it to Dr. Sebi then. Because somebody, if it don't cost nothing, it ain't worth nothing. Let's be honest. If I don't sell it to you for $100,000, then I ain't really gave you nothing. It could be some rare shit. You know what I'm saying? One time a sister bought me back. She went to Jamaica, and this is before I really got off into the Jamaican community and consciousness. She went all the way to Jamaica, came back. She froze some ackee for me. You feel me? Brought it all the way back on the plane. At that time, I was on the corner, in Chicago, with my wares. She bought this back, and she said, I'll bring this to you. I'm like, and give this to me for free. I'm looking at this like, what the hell is this? I'm not going to just eat anything from strangers or anything that anybody gave me. I didn't know the value of what she had gave me, right? Because she gave it to me. Then 10 years later, I'm seeing that if you're trying to buy ackee in America, the further up north you got, it's $20 a can. And as you start to move down south, the prices drop, but you're not going to get it for less than $5 in America when it's free in Jamaica, right?
Mm.
She brought it all the way over from Jamaica, smuggled it into the country on the plane. You follow? And I'm like, what the hell is this? It's the perception of value. You follow? I'm thinking somebody just brought me some leftover food. You know, some leftover herbs, some leftover tea, whatever black people got is like leftovers from white supremacy. Until we begin to see the value of what we are and what we're doing, nothing that any of our teachers and leaders have to offer to us have any value. Do you hear me? It's the value of the money we spend and the value of how it validates our experience of white supremacy. When I get off from work, I need to know what I buy from you validates that I have a job in the first place. Do you hear me? Because otherwise I'm working for free. If you're giving it to me for free, then I'm working for nothing, right? Then why am I working? Now I'm working against myself by experiencing a free reality with you. So now freedom becomes anti-black for those whose reality is validated by living under oppression, suppression, repression, and depression under the white man. Do you hear me? That ain't Sebi's fault. So I have to say that. But the whole idea of him curing diseases and curing AIDS and curing that, I mean, you can't cure AIDS. You can help increase somebody's health. That's a reality. In the grand sense of the reality, we all have relative AIDS. That's going to hurt some people. If I go over to Africa right now and get malaria, my immune system about to get hit. I was immune deficient to deal with malaria. Correct?
Correct.
If I get Ebola or typhoid fever or something like that, I'm basically then got my immune system is not going to be able to deal with that. You follow? So AIDS is not killing people. It's when the person with the so-called immune deficiency gets malaria, they died of the same thing I died from, malaria. You feel me? So we all are relatively deficient depending on our situation, condition, and lifestyles. Immune deficiency is not something new to the planet. Everybody that die of natural cause ultimately die from an immune deficiency to something, right? Even the old people, they're dying of pneumonia. That was an immune deficiency. The body begins to heal slower. The speed of which the body heals is its immunity. And I used to always ask people this, and this is going to hit you, the people who talk about AIDS. Where the hell is your immune system at? Because to say you have a deficiency in something, then it must be identified where it is. Where is your immune system located? In your body. So your immune system is a theoretical, hypothetical, right, concept about how your organs, fluids, bodies, and cells work in conjunction, right, to fight off bacteria, funguses, etc., right? But the idea of a immune system existing in themselves, since everybody is different, there is no major standard of immunity for everybody. Everybody's immune system is different. They have different allergies, right? People have different allergies and are affected differently by different things. So there's no standard immune system for all human beings. True or false? So if none of our immune systems are the same, then where's the standard to determine whose immune system is deficient and whose immune system is not? Which answers for why people with AIDS die and live at different periods. Some people live 10 years with it. You follow 20 years with it, 30 years with it. It depends, right? Because none of them had the same immune system. Somebody never got diagnosed with AIDS, got diagnosed with that, died of cancer at an earlier age, died of a disease at an earlier, never got AIDS, but still died of some type of immune deficiency. Right? This happens all the time. People just end up dying. They get the pneumonia, they die, they get this or die, this disease or that illness or that, and die, right? Cancer. Cancer is a serious killer. It's an immune deficiency within the body. So I think that it's a scare. It sells pharmaceutical industries, pharmaceutical medicines. It's a scare tactic, a supply and demand product. Do I believe people need to address their health issues? Yes. And be health consciousness and change their diet and exercise and breathe and yoga and meditation and do everything to deal with this battlefield of health that we are on. But to just have these old scare tactic ass ideas thrown on you, it's just, to me, I can't go with it, man. The way they claim that if AIDS is the way they say it is, we should, every time we go to the supermarket, we should see somebody drop in the damn supermarket. Do you hear me? You should, everywhere you look, somebody should drop. Because 1 in 5 people got AIDS, and everybody got AIDS, and it's a serious blah, blah, blah. And in Atlanta, everybody got AIDS. People in Atlanta, brother, look more healthier than people in anywhere I've been. Do you hear me? But Atlanta is supposed to be the major, hit most major by AIDS than any other black city or black place in the United States. But the people down here in Atlanta look like they didn't just walked up out of Atlantis. Do you hear me, brother? So I'm like, it's not making sense to me on at the level of the scare. I don't want to disqualify because I don't want to be that empathetic to people with health challenges, right? But I'm just saying, from what I have quantified, as bad as they say AIDS is, and the undiagnosed amounts of people walking around with it, we should be seeing people. You should hear ambulance every goddamn at least 30 minutes, at least, right? Huh? It has to add up. So to me, anybody pushing the AIDS scare, which is the extreme, I think it's an over classification of a major health issue. Anybody pushing that over classification, to me, would have to be to sell some type of product. It has to be something, an agenda backing that. You follow? Too many flaming flaggers still alive. Too many Bati boy still alive, man. You feel me? And I don't say that as an attack or diss on the gay community, but just too many of them that's 90 now. Like, really? You feel me? You shouldn't go to a gay party and then not an ambulance come there to get somebody, right? It got to make sense. I'm just asking real questions. Every gay party should be 3 or 4 ambulances outside getting people out of there. Somebody's playing a joke and a trick on us for their financial, economic, and personal gain, and other people are buying into that. No.
True indeed. I
We
remember
all
a while
got AIDS.
ago.
Any of us could die at any damn moment. People got to stop using AIDS as an excuse to kill themselves. Because the real AIDS was them killing themselves. Do you hear me? That's the real AIDS. Suicide. They so-called participated in careless, irresponsible activity in order to contract some disease, right? That was suicide. Then somebody told them that they had something that's not truly verifiable, quantifiable, or qualifiable. They believed it. That's the second level of suicide, and used that in order to fatalistically condemn themselves to death when no definite number or definite time of their demise could actually be put before them. So no real death sentence had been, given to them. They like a person on death row, but end up like Mumia, not on death row. You follow? What happens when you live on death row for 20 years with the fear of dying every day, but you don't really end up dying and you end up off death row? So that means the time that you spend worrying about your death was nothing but contemplative suicide. Do you hear me?
Hey,
I'm trying to go in with the psychological illness that is going on. And Mumia didn't die of death row, but ended up dying of immune deficiency issue of contracting hepatitis inside of the penile institution. Everybody, when you die, guess what you're going to die of, man? Guess. When we all die, we're going to die of the same thing. It's going to be death. Do you hear me? Don't worry about it. When you die, it'll be death. I can guarantee you. I can tell you it's going to be this way or that way. I can't tell you the particulars or exact time or what remedy or what, methodology it's going to be. But I know when you die, it's going to be of death. We all have that in common. So my point is, it ain't going to be how you die of death, but how you live of life while you're here. Let's focus on that and quit getting caught up in these scares, man, and committing suicide by fear. No more suicide by fear, man. You feel me?
Yeah, I hear you, man.
And that's the reality. So that's why I can't go with you're curing AIDS, you're curing that. But if you can get somebody to believe they had AIDS and cure them of it, that might be a greater psychological illness, because maybe they need to have a disease. Maybe they needed the ultimate challenge to be put in front of them so that they can create meaning and purpose in their life by going beyond that challenge so they can be of a greater contribution to the world. So maybe that's the positive aspect of people getting AIDS. Maybe that's like some voodoo or some magic to believe that to put a challenge before you to make you actually begin to really start to live. Because some people will not be able to really live until they're confronted with death. Their life will not even, the reality of life will not even appear before them as something practical until they can be confronted with the reality of death. You follow? That's a fact.
Most definitely.
Janet Jackson wanted Tupac to have an AIDS test. It wasn't AIDS that killed Tupac. You follow? Tupac died of death. You feel me? Now, how would he feel? Do you think he feel bad? He should feel bad now, in Cuba or wherever in life after death, that he should feel bad for not taking that AIDS test? I mean, he died of death anyway. You feel me? And that's radical. Some people are going to be like, oh, that's irresponsible. What you're saying, it's not that. It's just the reality. You can't let this white man get in your head and make you of no value to your people. You follow? Because whenever he messes your mind up, it's more dangerous to us than it is to him. You follow? It's more dangerous to us than to him. Because if people really was mad and know he scientifically created AIDS, and you can trace this so-called illusion of this disease to a white man that claims he has a patent on it, the person with AIDS is not going to go and kill white people. Shit, you tell me I got, 5 years to live. Multiply that time 500 white deaths. Huh? I mean, that's glorious. Tell me I only got 10 years to live. Man, please. You think you're going to be talking about Harriet Tubman? Death is there's a blessing and a curse. But a lot of times we become destructive to ourselves with these white prognoses and diagnoses, right?
Exactly.
But I didn't want to go too far on that point, brother. Was there anything else?
Hey, man, that was perfect, man. And all I got to say is, man, I got to make sure I'm donating. So I'm going to send that tonight. You went beyond
order, man. And as long as you keep dropping that information, I'm going to keep putting it up there, man, because we need true black intellectuals. And that's what I saw in you. You start your thinking, man. I'm no longer part of the black conscious community. After the shit I've been seeing lately, I'm part of the black intellectual community, the black intelligentsia. And I'm adopting you from what I see in your videos and how you dropping, you actually thinking critically, adopting you into the black intelligentsia community, man. So whatever you put up, I'm seeing you going in like that. I'm just going to go ahead and re-upload it, man, so it can reach a larger audience. People need to start thinking.
I've been listening to you for 3 years now, so it's really coming through now, man. Like, everything, like from the woman I'm laying next to my mother, I'm like, damn, like, it's like I can't get out this Rubik's Cube, man. It's like a Rubik's Cube right now. That's the way I'm looking at it. Like, damn, but like, my woman, she said you gotta go to school. My mom said you gotta have a job, and you say, my grandmother said you talking that black shit, and my grandfather said you better pray to Jesus. I'm like, what the fuck? So, I'm trying to work my way out as best as I can right now.
Jesus is not saving us, we dying off. Jesus ain't saving us, we dying off. You follow? You getting an education, you can't get a job. You follow? And you still getting racially profiled and shot down in the middle of the streets. The only answer is keep living right now, living compassionately, you know what I'm saying? And living fully, in the now. That's power right there. The rest, I mean, like they said, they used to say, ain't no future in your fronting. We don't know what tomorrow is going to be for being a black man in America. But we know today we can make ourselves strong enough to confront the challenges of tomorrow. But there is going to be no sweet ride, no sweet ship, to freedom and liberty through education, economics, Jesus, any of that. We're going to have to stand up and man up, man. And that's the reality.
Where's that?
I don't disqualify any of those avenues because everybody's situation is relative to their own for survival. I don't disqualify any of them, but I also don't overqualify any of them, and I don't disqualify any alternative methodologies because if you keep getting the same thing, you're gonna keep getting the same result. You follow? That's a fact. And black supremacy has found an alternative way and a new way that we are manifesting and implementing as we speak of right now. And it's happening, you know, and we invite as many people into that consciousness and into that thought paradigm as possible, man. Because it got a track record now. You've been listening to me for 3 years, and I've been listening to me since I woke up for 20 years. So, it got a track record now. I didn't survive some of the theoreticians, the politicians, you know, the mentally masturbators. I didn't kind of survived a few of them, you know. So it's going. And the more intelligent black men that could align themselves with it, I guarantee the farther that it will go.
Oh, definitely, man. I feel like it's like at least a couple, at least 5,000 more of me out there is listening to you, man. Like every night, somebody right now finding your video on YouTube, hearing it, they hooked. You know, they might have tried Christianity, they might have tried Islam. I didn't try all that shit, and I didn't have to bore myself through reading these books to see what the fuck is so special about this shit. I click on one of your videos, that's where it's at. That's where it's at. All I need to know how to do is articulate what I'm trying to say, because that's how it's been set up to make people not be able to articulate what they're saying, let the emotions get in the way. It's a lot of shit that's trying to get in the way of you articulating what the fuck you trying to say. So, I mean, like, it's to the point where, you know, it's caving in from all sides, and you gotta cut through it. Like, you gotta see crystal clear. Like, all this is an illusion. Ain't no walls closing in on me. All I gotta do is articulate what I'm saying. That's it.
That's power. That's power, man. Thank you for calling in. I'm trying to keep bringing the show at you. Go ahead.
Got you on the donation, man. Black Supremacy.
Black Supremacy. 216. Make it plain.
Supremacy. How you doing, King?